Live yet. I think within like a second or so we'll be for sure live. Today we're gonna code a little bit. I think though today it's I'm not gonna finish the game jam. That's for sure. Not even a possibility. And I've made my peace with that. You might be wondering why. Why can't I finish the game jam? Well, the issue right now is we are within like 17 hours of submission, and here let me show you the game jam. And if I could pull an all nighter, I'd be like, sure, we can get something submitted. I cannot. I have an exam tomorrow. I can't even stream for that long today. So we're gonna code a little bit more. Taking the stress off. Honestly, the stress was great for getting us as far as we did, but I think it will be beneficial for us to just take the stress off and just code for the fun of it. And there's a lot, believe me, there's a lot to code. So today, let's get the light done. Honestly, again, I have an exam tomorrow, so I should go to bed relatively soon. I'm gonna say right now, half an hour to an hour. That's how long the stream is gonna be. It's a short stream, and I know that sucks, but right now I don't really think I have much choice otherwise. So last we were here, we were trying to code this portion right here, which is the lighting portion. And so far, I think this is correct. I think this is let's run it and see what happens actually. One second. Got a bunch of tabs to close out. Okay. So this still working like expected. And now we have a bug. And the bug is L is not defined on line 134. So go back to the code, line 134. Okay, so I think L is Z in this case. I'm like 99% sure of that. Yeah, Z. So let's go here. Hello, Shidokuso. Right now we're just gonna continue working on the game jam, on Duck Duck Game Jam. Specifically, right now we're trying to fix the lighting um of this level because we're doing a very different method. This is wrong. Maps curl level. Oh, that's the problem. We're using Z twice. So this needs to be L. This feels like this is a maps L Z Z Z L good maps Z L map light maps Z light R maps light R maps L light R L. Okay, this all looks correct. Let's give it a whirl. I have a feeling it's not going to work. Oh, I know my microphone is. Let me fix that. Can you hear me better now? I think you can hear me better now, probably. Unexpected token on line 208. Oh, wait. This was a bug from earlier. I think I resolved it. There we go. Okay, let's just take out of this. Very interesting. Okay. So now we're starting to get the beginnings of how this is going to work. That's really cool, actually. The fact that we got the fact that this is working as well as it is, in my opinion, I'm pretty happy with it right now. Obviously, still a lot more work to do, but first up, we actually need to fix. So right now, clearly, it's working in terms of the vertical walls. Actually, are we doing verticals right now? Let's see. K, Z. Yeah, we're doing verticals right now, I believe. So verticals are being handled, but that's not enough, is it? We also need to do horizontals. And I am going to hate this with a passion, but I'm just going to separate it into two pieces for the sake of me being able to test logic later. And we're going to take this code, and quite frankly, we might just be able to switch everything from 0 to 1 and vice versa. That should be able to handle this. 0, 1, 1. This needs to be J plus K over 2 math.floor. One. I will say that I'm kind of relying on the fact that I think I am good at reading my own code. This, like this. Oh, wait, I missed that one, actually. We'll go back for that in a second. 0, 1, 1 over J plus math.floor K over 2. 1, 0. Okay, we missed this one earlier. This should be I plus K2. And now, theoretically speaking, this should just work. Unless I'm very wrong, which wouldn't be the first time. Let's get past the key level. Okay, so now everything is shadowed. which is incorrect. I might actually have to math this out. And well, I think that is where our time for this day is gonna come into play. So okay, so mathing this out, we're going for verticals right now. Light. Okay. I don't want to do all. Well, the thing is, this should just work, theoretically speaking. Let me see if I can catch the bug. Like, we'll make our life a million times easier if I can just catch the bug. That's for sure. I'm also trying to read lines of code that are just in no light terms, rather revolting. Times maps curve level z1 minus light rl1 over j plus math 4k over 2. Good so far. Minus light r l1 minus so I is L1 or J is L. Okay, wait. I think this is incorrect here. J plus wait. This must be a bug. J plus math floor. So J plus math floor is correct. So we're past. I just saw the bug. It's past the and. Past the and. The first one is I. I don't know if this is going to solve the problem, but this is definitely a bug. So let's run it again. Get past this level. I guess we can set the level to. Okay, still problematic. Okay. I wonder if I comment out this if, what the behavior is going to look like. I want to see if the behavior is consistent. Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Because this is actually. This is actually the inverse of the other one. Okay, this is very wrong. Okay, so At least now we know where the bug is happening. We have like this thing is literally the inverse of the previous one. Okay, so let me actually compute this. Let me actually figure this out. So time from when time is equal to 0, we're starting at light source. Light source minus t times, or we can do minus. I think minus. Let's do minus. Light source, and we're going for the end result. So this is going to be the character, the block. The grid minus light source. And we want this to equal to the y position, which in this case will be walls. And everything here is going to be in the y coordinates. Okay. So if this is in the y coordinates, then we want to get the x coordinates of this. So t times same behavior. Okay, so let me just check the logic right here. So this is going to be okay, so this is where we're multiplying for the x. So math apps light r L0 plus, and then this here is, so ik factorial. I had this previously made. So if we're talking about the 0th element, then that is going to be, yeah, factorial 2. So that's correct. And I is the x value. So that's correct so far. Okay, so far this is all correct. Sometimes I look at this and I'm happy that I use VS Code. I will say I don't think this would look any better in VS Code. The issue with this is that I could split this up into readable sections, but that would take like 20 lines. For me, it just makes more sense. Like I can read this. It's more that I don't know why. No, cause like okay, VS Code would like probably give me some colors and stuff, but I don't think it would actually like help me read this any better. I think I don't know, because when I look at this, I know what each one of these things is. Nothing here. Like when I read it, it's like when we read a sentence, you know where the verb is, or you know what the action phrase is. I used to use Notepad++ for the longest, but then the first company I joined, I had to use VS Visual Studio. No, I will say VS Code and Visual Studio and everything is pretty good. I have nothing against it. I think all I'm saying is the issue with my current code is not IDE specific. It's Urbandrei being lazy in a way. Lazy and also a lot more like lazy in the worst way. I think that's the most accurate to describe this. No, I mean, the things I've used Visual Studio, and also I'm still using it every now and then. I know, shock, but I do off stream. I use IDEs. It depends on what I'm doing. It really is dependent on what I'm doing. Always. On stream, I do this because I find it funny. This is my entertaining. This is my entertainment. It's also very challenging. I think this trains a part of my brain that I'm not used to training, but I'm getting good at it. JetBrain. I've never used JetBrain. I've never paid for an ID. I've paid for stuff in the past. I've paid for Docker. I've paid for other stuff. I will never pay for an ID. I say that fully knowing that I one day out of a gut instinct I will pay for an ID, probably instantly regret it, never use it again, and I will. Yeah, honestly, a lot of times I say I wouldn't do something, I actually just do it, but very quietly. Um, and usually it's on the gut instinct. What I don't get right now is why does this look inverted? Like if I wait, this is a dumb idea. This is such a dumb idea. I'm gonna just like not this entire thing. Will this really should not fix my code? If it does, something is very wrong with my code. Well, the good news is it did not fix my code. The bad news is I have zero idea what this behavior is. Hello, Cosmical Sounds. My night is. I don't even know how to describe what's happening here. Okay, the part that I'm confused about here, let me explain because you might be looking at this and you might be wondering, like, what is going through Andre's head right now? So if you look carefully, you'll notice that these lines, once they're formed, stay steady. Even so, the thing is, this should be forming a line going to the wall and saying this is in a shadowed area, theoretically speaking. But it's staying steady, which tells me that one of the updates is not happening here. This isn't being updated. And the thing is that's a bug. That's a problem. That doesn't really solve anything for us. But I will say that so the only behavior that looks moderately okay right here is if you look carefully, you'll notice that up here. Okay, so here, let me turn off this craziness so you guys can actually kind of see what's going on here. So let me decomment. I'm gonna uncomment this and just before we do anything else and just see if this it shouldn't, but let's see if this actually like fixes it because we did uninvert it. This might just Interestingly enough, this is a better behavior, but it's still pretty bad. Okay. Anyways, let's comment out the entirety of this now. Okay, and now so here's what is supposed to happen. So let's reload this. So we have a game where essentially for right now it's very impossible game-ish. We have these walls. Black is wall. This red thing over here is supposed to be a hole. Right now it is deactivated because we need a key. We get the key, the hole turns green, and now we go in here. Yellow is supposed to be a light source. And the behavior we're trying to code is when the light source here goes across the screen, what I want to happen is I want light from the light source to basically generate shadows in this area right here. And the plan is if my character here is in the light, time slows down for them. And I think I want this to be like the first like example of this behavior, because I want to be like you walk across the screen and you'll be like frozen for a second when you're stuck in the light, and you'll get a feeling of, oh, okay, that's how this mechanic works. This is supposed to be the first level, so we kind of skipped a level, but so the first level is you just learn what the hole does. So you go from one side to the other, you go to hole, then you learn what the key is. You go get the key, and I go to the hole. Then this one, you learn what the light is. These are kind of like tutorial levels. And then after this, we're going to introduce the enemy. And the idea of the enemy is going to move slowly towards the character. I haven't really fully decided on how we're going to be actually handling the enemy AI. I don't know if it'll just be chasing you nonstop the entire time. I don't know if it'll be like a thing. If you get lit up, you're going to, I don't know exactly how I would want the behavior of this to be. But next level was supposed to be enemy starts chasing you, and being slowed down is now very dangerous, because if you're slowed down and you're stuck in a light beam, or surrounded by light, the enemy can get you, and it becomes more like a speed game where you're trying to avoid these because they will slow you down. And that's kind of that's the entire concept. There's like more we could do. We can add more mechanics and stuff, but I think those are like the major mechanics. I want keys to kind of add a extra level of complexity. I wanted the holes, the spawn location, obviously the character, the walls, the enemy, and lights. I just want to have those behaviors and just build some maps, add some artwork and some music and stuff. Maybe add like a home screen and stuff, and then call it the end of the game jam. Clearly, that's not going to happen anymore. So, it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. Or spilled Red Bull. However you want the phrase to be. Also, Def and Default is back. Sorry, I saw he joined in the middle of my little monologue. But Def and Default is back, and he's here to bomb us all. But yeah, that is the behaviors we're trying to code. So right now we're working on a light behavior. And theoretically speaking, I want the light behavior to be to impact time and motion. Wait, I think I hear Ken sing. 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry guys, I had to scare off a spider. Anywho, welcome back. So, that's the behavior we're trying to code right now, and this here is the code for the lighting. So far we've had a bunch of code. Honestly, I know it looks like a lot, but here, let me zoom out. Oh, you guys can see the code. Well, so, okay, right now the behavior we have, so it's like a bit easier than you think it is probably. Right now we just have a grid. So if I actually broke down how the scene looks, every single one, there's like a grid of dots or of squares that I can control the color of each individually. I have control over like it's in a double array. So I can change any coordinate of dot here. And then the player, hole, and lights are separate squares that move independently of the grid. And I basically control them by using the same exact reference point. So the position of these in the code is identical to the position of the squares. Obviously, the position is based on the left and top edges, which will be a problem at some point. I try to account for it when I code, but could definitely kick us a little bit in the butt. Now the rest of the behavior. So for the light right now, here's how our behavior is working. And for the record, this is going to get very, very nasty very quickly because of how I'm handling this behavior. So we have our light sources. So right now we only have one, but obviously we could have more than one. We have our light source. We have our walls. And we have our grid elements. And we could also theoretically do this for a square, but for right now, let's just talk about the grid. And the grid has 4 vertices. For future reference, I've numbered these vertices 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now here's how the behavior of this goes. So we're actually iterating over all these things. So the first thing we iterate over is actually this. We iterate over every single grid because we want to make sure every single grid thing is accounted for. And we iterate over every vertex on that grid point. So we do that. There's actually so many ways we can make this more efficient, but for right now, we're going to ignore all that because we're not trying to make this code efficient right now. We're just trying to get something that works. But so we first iterate over every element of this. Then we iterate over every light source. And the reason why we do that is because this here is by far, well, this is obviously a necessary evil, but this is the second biggest amount of data points in this comparison. So I'm going to ignore this for right now. So basically, if there's 0 lights, we don't even have to check this. There's no need for us to. I'm trying to be somewhat conscious. So wait, trust me. Okay, I know this sounds really, really smart. I promise you, it's gonna get really obvious really fast. I'm just trying to explain how I'm doing this. So basically, for every single grid point, we take every single vertex. We see if there's any lights. For every light, we're gonna go through all the walls. Now, what we do is we first see, is the wall in this little Bermuda square of possible death of the light ray? If it's not, like, if you think about it, if this square, if the wall is outside of here, then there's no way it can block the light. So I just automatically, and the thing is, this also accounts for edge cases where it'll be in the same line, but it'll be outside of the area. So the first thing I do is I essentially see, is this outside of the area? After that, so if this is within the Bermuda square of light, then what we do is I essentially draw a line to each of the vertices. So let's say we're at vertex 0 of this grid point of this light source, and we're looking at this wall. Basically what I do is I use the values here to essentially determine where do I intersect. So if the wall is here, where do I intersect this line at? And then I see, is that point between the edges of the square? So if you think about it, let's say this square over here. Here, I'm going to just... So let's say we have... Let me draw this again. So let's say this edge is in the Bermuda square. I don't... Whatever. I'm trying to sound funny. If it's inside the range, but it is outside of the path, if I take the intersection point and then I see if that's inside here, this intersection point is outside of this range, thus it does not intersect. Thus it's not in the way of the light. And what I'm doing, and what I do additionally to try to make my code a little bit more efficient is if any square is in the way, we do every single wall individually. So if any of these walls on this square is in the way of this light ray to this vertex, then we automatically, we stop checking. At that point, we just say, the light's blocked, no need to look at anything else. And what I do is, so I do this for every single light ray. I basically see, are any of these light rays blocked by any square? So if there was a square right here, for instance, these two light rays we blocked, and these two would be here. And I do this for every grid point and every vertex on those grids. And then what I do is I take how many vertices are lit. So in this case, 2 vertices are lit, and I shade in that grid point, that grid square, by that much. So if all 4 edges are lit, then it should be, a full square. It's a fully lit square. So then what we do is just light it the lightest color, a light gray. However, let's say only 1 vertex is lit. Then that should be like on the edge of a path, of a light path. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make this 1 shade more than pure darkness. And obviously, if it's completely in the dark, if it's 0, then we just shade it as dark as possible, black. So basically, we use this to essentially create, because if I didn't do this, if we just did, are any of the points lit or whatever, we're going to get these really harsh edges on light around corners, and it won't look very good. But this way, on the line, it'll actually be several shades, and the shades will actually complement each other and have a proper gradient from one color to the other. That's it. It might sound like a lot, and it is a lot, and there's definitely... So also, while we're on the subject of efficiency, how to make the code better, here's how I can make the code better. Because we are checking some things more than once. One way we can do this better is, so you might be realizing, if you think about it closely, because we're checking every vertex on every edge, well, how many vertices are there total? You might think that it would be 4 times n, or height times width. But that's not actually true. In reality, if you actually put these all next to each other, you essentially get h plus 1, w plus 1. So that's still a little more than just h times w, but it isn't 4 times more. And that's a problem. Because this here is going to be like 5%, or this here will be 25% fewer data points. And that's because these 4 squares share a single vertex. So if we can, instead of doing it the way we're currently doing it, we could just compute this once and then give that data to each one of the grid points. That will basically make our code literally like 75% more efficient, which is a lot. That's a lot to make our code more efficient. What else do we have? So that's one place where we're double checking the points. Another thing is right now we've talked about the Bermuda Triangle of Light, or whatever we want to call this thing. So it's this area right here that essentially is where the possible squares are. We could also theoretically, instead of checking all of these points and also checking all the walls, we can specifically narrow, if assuming the walls are actually properly ordered, we can narrow in on the walls that are in this path. And so while there could be up to, theoretically, h times worst case scenario, this really just solves, because we do stop on the first intersection, best case scenario, no matter what we do, will be 0. And so really got to worry about the worst case scenario. I'm going to just talk about that. Worst case scenario would be h times w, assuming that none of the walls hit and nothing blocks the path. This is the worst case scenario. But if we just check this line, the worst case scenario will be the square root of h squared plus w squared. Really, it's going to be like approximately like 1.4 times the average of h plus w around. That's actually really false, but because h and w are identical, it's going to be theoretically like just a constant, less than 2 times h, which again, that's going from n squared down to n. And at 20, we're talking about a 95% improvement on that efficiency. So already we're talking about we can make the code run like 98% faster with just these 2 fixes than what I'm trying to do right now. So again, I know what I'm doing is very inefficient. I'm brute forcing it right now for the sake of getting it done, because my computer can handle it, and then we'll eventually go back and we'll implement these fixes, because these are not difficult. I need it to work before I can fix it. Trying to fix something before it works is gonna be infinitely more difficult at this point. The other, I think we're double checking one more thing. Are we double checking anything else? I think those are the main places where you can make it more efficient. I think there's other things you can do, like saving locations or stuff like that, that would make it marginally more efficient. Or, doing stuff where, with the lighting source, where if something is lit up or a vertex is lit up, we don't check it again. That could be a cool way of doing this. There's a lot of places where we can make marginal improvements, especially when we have many lighting sources and so on. But yeah, that is how we're handling it and how we can improve it once I fix it and make it work the way it works. But in essence, the code, again, I should be close. Really, the bug right now is more so that this okay. So in my code right now, all of this is just map data. This is just, I use this script here to create maps. So this here is all the map data, and like where the holes are and the players and the lights and the lighting paths and so on. That's right here. All this is creating the grid. All this is creating players and the player in the hole. All of this is just setting up the maps, lights, and all the various elements. Then all this does is this removes all the lights and all the variables and everything else, and just remakes the map. So it adds in the keys, it adds in the lights, and it changes, if there is a key still available, it changes the whole color to red. And also it updates the player location, and it sets up all the walls. So that's what all of this code is. All this code does just remakes the map whenever we get to the next level or restart the game or anything. And then we have this behavior right here. All that this does is this just gets the inputs. Here is our update function. And all that this code right here does is this handles light motion, the light moving around. All of this code right here just handles player movement. And then this little section right here handles lighting. Can I make text bigger? I can. It does not help matters. This right now, this code is just, I'd say it's unreadable at the moment. I was just trying to show like a general roadmap of where we're at, because right now it is how did I write this? I wrote it in Notepad in a lot of patience. My brain isn't crazy. I'm just I think too hard about simple things. But yeah. So anyway, so right now here's the behavior we have in the full thing running. So we have the key. As you can see, the key opens the gate hole. As we were saying earlier, we have the light source moving. The light source isn't currently working. And we have everything else. Oh no, I mean crazy in a bad way. No, I know what you meant. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking. I think I speak for most people. No. Again, no. I understand what you meant. No, don't worry. I'm pretty sure everyone understood what you meant. I was just saying that I think, and I think most people would think that this is not. I would not consider this good code. This is more like what a schizophrenic would do if he knew a little bit of coding. I didn't know you could do the roulette. I forgot that was a thing. Anyhow, back to doing this. So let's bring back the lighting behavior and just figure out what's wrong with this code. Wait, did you win Limonage? Oh wait, Limonage is playing roulette. I was wondering who was doing all the commands. I guess Limonage was the one who was responsible for that. Okay, let's bring back the lighting behavior. So here's the current behavior we're getting with the lighting, which is not correct. I know for a fact. Wait, did I save it? Let's run this. There we go. My God, it is horrifying. The behavior is a little. The behavior of this is so weird in like so many different ways. Again, I think the most weird behavior is the fact that some squares remain constant. Yeah, so right now, yeah, it's not taking into account the wall. Actually, it's weird because it both is and isn't. Because the fact that this entire area is lit at all times tells me, and the fact that it stops right here tells me that it is seeing the wall somewhat. It just like ignores it at a certain angle. Like in this entire section right here, it ignores the wall entirely. And I know, and the thing is, on top of that, we know that when we were breaking it down into its individual pieces, we saw that so if I took apart this section right here, let me zoom out just a little bit. If we take this part and close up the if, then we can see that the behavior of, god damn, is there a bug? 147. There we go. That should fix it. if you look carefully, you can see that here we have the behavior where this is darker and the light only shines through here. Although there is this really weird behavior right here. I think this is because of like a gap between the squares and how I'm handling it. That's my guess for why we have this probing or this scan effect going on. Yeah, no. If I zoom out or not zoom out, if I change the width of this, I can fix this pretty easily. It's just like I gotta make a 1 pixel difference. Like here, you can see that it's basically right. This is like a simple fix. Um, okay. Let's. How long have I coded for? By now, I mean, I got my degree. If you count the time I've been in college and was like learning about this stuff seriously, 5 years. If you count the time before that when I was in high school, taking like AP coding and so on, I'd say like 7 years. If you count the time that I was like doing visual coding as a kid, like 10 years. If you count time I've been doing like game development in general, I'd say 7 years. Um, no, visual coding actually long. 15 years if you count visual coding, because NXT Mindstorm as a kid, that was my jam. No, NXT Mindstorm. Not the new one. The new one I'm not a fan of. The new one is kind of they messed it up. But the old NXT Mindstorms, like as a kid, I remember how bad the software was, but like from like the perspective of actually making stuff, it was golden. The behaviors, like how it had you like code visually, so excellently well done. I really, really miss it. I if I those were the golden years of like my childhood was like working on NXT Mindstorm. But yeah, no. Oh yeah, no. This is all JavaScript, by the way. Everything you're seeing here is JavaScript. That's what we're doing right now. Hello, the Pans Games. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to another misadventure with Urbandrei. Okay, what we're gonna do here is I don't want to tear apart my code, but it actually might be for the best because something is okay. Actually, let's first figure out why do we have this snapping effect, because that is the most bizarre behavior we have so far. So for each element of the grid, we set lighting equals 0. Oh, 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 oh. Easy fix. Plus 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That should fix it. Now let's run it. Wait. Yeah, I had to get a spider for my girlfriend. Here, take a look. Look at this little guy. If you have arachnophobia, look away now. Anyways, I'll let him live his happy little life. He's huge. He's like this big. Anyways, ignoring the spider, let's see what his behavior looks like now. This is for a game jam. We're not going to finish the game jam. I've made my peace with that. We're just not going to get it done in time. I'm confused by the behavior here. Okay, so this is working, but this is incorrect. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's do 1, 2. Oh, here we go. One, two, three, four, five, six. Well, that's not great, honestly. Quite frankly, this behavior is pretty close, actually. Wait, whoa, hold up. Okay. Hold up. Let's look at the other behavior. Let's code this out. Save it, run it. Okay. Behavior's not looking great, but let's just run the entire thing and see what happens. It's so close. It's so close. Ay, ay, ay. It's literally, if I can get rid of the vertical behavior. I mean, theoretically speaking, the part that is the worst here is this here. Does this solve it? This here is actually my main concern about this project, because this behavior makes no sense to me. You know what the biggest issue is right now? Like if I could, like, I wanted to get this done tonight, but I feel like I'm starting to grasp that in order to get this behavior the way I want to get this behavior done and maybe even optimize it, it would require me sitting down with my little notebook for probably like 2 3 hours straight, a lot of math, and eventually I would figure out exactly how to make this work, and it would work really good and be very efficient. But I think you guys would not be very entertained by me muttering, speaking in tongues, and like scribbling on a piece of godforsaken paper. Like I feel like that is not very entertaining. And I'm tired and I have a GRE tomorrow. That's the main issue right now. I have the GRE tomorrow and I'm prepared for it. I'm fine, I think. I think I'll do well. If I don't do well, I would just take it again. This was a rush job anyways, but the thing is, I did say that I was going to only stream for half an hour to an hour today. And looking at the time, we just passed an hour. I'm going to comment. Okay, so clearly the code is not buggy per se. It isn't working, but it's not like death bug. I'm going to comment out the light behavior for right now. And I wanted to get the enemy done today as well. Today is not a good day. You know what I also don't understand? The timing of these game jams. I always start these game jams super late and then they always like end on like a critical day for me. It's like, "Oh, we end on Saturday, which oh, by the way, is happens to be a huge exam for you, so you won't get a pull all-nighter the night before." Like we spent a total, including today and yesterday, we spent a total of 4 hours on this so far. 4 hours, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, this game jam is a dud. I'm gonna go to sleep. We're gonna wake up tomorrow, and the game jam will be over. That's pretty much how it's gonna be. Okay, I need to call it because I'm going insane. I have an exam tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll stream again. There's a new game jam that's starting. I'm not sure. I think we're already late for it. Here, let me take a look really fast. Yeah, the speed jam already started. We have 2 days and 14 hours. It's supposed to be a 3-day jam, so this time we'll have more time. You guys cannot see what I'm doing. This is the speed jam. We'll do this one next. This one I might actually submit for. We'll just make a quick game for this. I mean, honestly, we should probably just make like a clicker game, like a speed clicker. That sounds like fun. That sounds simple, fun, doable in a day. That's a day's jam worth. Anywho, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed the stream. If you haven't already, if you're on Twitch, consider following on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, consider subscribing on YouTube. Thank you for the follow, Freedom Dow. Oh, also, when you follow, you become a little character. You probably can see your little guy right down here. But you know, I'm not going to stop coding on stream. Don't worry. I just need to call it tonight because tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I have a huge exam that I might be going back to school and get my master's. So, and I need to get this GRE done for that. So, fun times. But if you haven't already, the best place to talk to me, my community, and just get notifications and information and everything else and all the fun stuff about anything I do is a Discord that's linked both on the Twitch and on the YouTube. It should be linked in the bio. You can click on it, join the community. We're pretty friendly over there. It's kind of dead, but we're working on it. Special thanks to our Ko-Fi sponsors, to those who donate coffee to the cause. This month we have Limonage, and we have Rajesh, at least until the end of the month. And who else? Check out Penny Lane one day. Put it in the Discord. I'll put it there. I'll look at it. I will forget it. I don't have the brain power to like look it up after the stream. It's a quantum simulator. That could be a fun stream. Could also be a very boring stream. It really depends on how much documentation there is. I might be interested though. Again, link it in the Discord. If there's anything you guys want me to look at, read, learn, do, whatever, game jams, code, projects, APIs, whatever. You want to look at something, think about something, talk about something. The best place to catch my attention, where I will check and where I will, what goes on my to-do list is the Discord. You have an AI addiction? Honestly, the whole world does. Maybe not the same kind of AI addiction, but it's understandable. But yes, that is all I really have today. How many viewers do we have? Do we have enough for a raid? I try to only raid if we have like enough people to where it's worth. Where I'm not just like, rating myself to someone else, and like it always feels a little bit self-pluggy if it's just me. That's the main thing. Yeah, no, 3 people is fine. We have 3 people? Where can I find my stats and stuff? 3 viewers. Love and Drunk is streaming. Yeah, we can rate it Love and Drunk. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you guys all enjoyed. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. Hopefully around like, I'm gonna say 10-ish. I'm gonna say 10-ish, maybe 11-ish. Latest 12-ish. So earliest 10-ish, latest 12-ish, most likely 11-ish. And all of... The fuck? Get with me. He climbed up me! The spider! He literally was on my arm! Listen, man. You scared me. Now he's playing dead. He's not. I promise he's not dead. All I did was I severed his line. Look, I don't want to step on you later. God damn. He looks really scary. He looks really, really scary. But I think he's just a sweetheart. No, he's fine. He's fine. Here. Here, I'll show you. Let me pick you up. He's wandering off. He's going to the cooler. He wants to drink. No, he's fine. He's heading back in Ken's direction. Hopefully Ken is fine. I missed an opportunity to become Spider-Man? Nah, if he wanted to bite me, he would have already. I don't think he has fangs long enough to bite me. I wonder if he's actually... No, he doesn't look like any dangerous species I'm aware of. Is that a different spider? No, he's the same spider. Anywho... Yeah, anyways, well, if I get an allergic reaction because I'm allergic to everything, we know what caused it. I guess that's true. Anyways, so you recommended Love and Drunk. Who's Love and... Maybe I should actually... Honestly, at some point, I gotta start vetting these. Oh, he's coding? Okay, honestly, if he's coding, then that is good in my book. So let's start to raid. In good heart, well, thank you for introducing me to him. The raid will be starting in any second now. Um, Again, thanks everyone for watching. Again, if you haven't already, consider following, subscribing, donating coffee, whatever. You know the entire spiel. Join the Discord. Um, yeah. Talking about Twitch API, I will be working on that project. I have one on the back burner that I've been working on for a while. We've been talking about it for a while. We might get back into that soon. Maybe after the speed jam. But that's a discussion for another day. We don't have enough time to talk about that. Again, thanks everybody for joining. Thanks everybody for chilling out, being a good sport, even though this was a shorter stream. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Danton, for following. Much appreciated, never required. And I hope to see you all soon. Hopefully tomorrow. So say hi to Love and Drunk. And yeah. Bye bye. Also, gotta press buttons. Bye bye.